Guys, are you ready for the ultimate showdown this weekend at UFC 298? Join me in the action by leaving your picks for the fights in the comments below. I have teamed up with DraftKings Sportsbook, and right now, new customers get a no-sweat bet. You can get a bonus bet back in the amount of your original bet if your pick doesn't hit. Minimum deposit $5. Sign up using my promo code Sonnen. And DraftKings has something for existing customers as well. All customers get SGP insurance every day. Get a bonus bet back if one leg of your SGP bet loses. Minimum number of legs required and max bet vary. And if sports betting is not yet available in your state, do not worry. You can still join in on all the fun with DraftKings Daily Fantasy. New customers, use my promo code Sonnen and you get a no sweat bet. So click on the link below and download the DraftKings Sportsbook app right now. Only at DraftKings Sportsbook. Henry Cejudo has said, if I don't win, I will retire. This is all or nothing. It's very fascinating to me. The greats. Henry Cejudo is one of the greats. As a little boy, this guy was a champion. As a young man, before he could even go into a bar legally, he had an Olympic gold medal. Retired from competition before he even threw a punch inside of a cage. Came back and won the whole thing again and did it again after that. It is on a pursuit to attempt to do it another time. Right? Like, this is a different level of success. And to stand back and watch what makes him tick and how he operates is fascinating. It's very difficult to get involved and judge it or to critique it and say, hey, you're doing this wrong. It's hard when you have somebody that's so proven with success. So what does happen, right? Like, Henry didn't do this for marketing. He didn't come out and just make this statement. This is very well thought out and very well calculated. The greats will always do a number of things, but one of them is to put themselves, even if they have to fictionally create it, in a position that they themselves believe is best for success. So nobody said, Henry, you have to win. Nobody said, Henry, you don't have a job after this. Nobody said, Henry, you can never fight again, right? That's how most guys leave the sport. It's not their choice. Very few guys in any sport are done with the sport. They wake up one day and find out the sport's done with them. That is far more common than not the norm. But Henry has gone a different route, which is, I'm going to win. I'm going to be on a pursuit. I'm going to be on a very clear path and trajectory to become world champion. And if that stumbles, I'm out. Which is him just being aware, by the way. Like if all the wonderful things I said about Henry are true and he can't get a world title fight today, he's definitely not going to get one tomorrow with an extra loss, right? So good for him for seeing that and understanding. But I do have to wonder, what does he gain by this? Like, burning your ships has proven to be very effective, but what is it that you gain? I quit this sport. I quit this sport. See, I don't believe that you can retire. I know guys love to use that word. I don't believe you can retire unless you won a world championship. If you never achieved your goal, if you never won a world championship and you stop, then you quit. I quit this sport in 2004 in a hallway in Japan after a bout in pancreation. And it brought me peace. I will tell you, it hurt to lose so bad. I hated it so much. In this fight, I got beaten. I went into the hallway. And right as I began having to deal with that pain and understanding what just happened and all the camp and all the travel and everything goes into it, I quit. I quit the sport. And I really meant it. And I remember having to call home. I had to call home, let my mom know. Coach Robert Follows had to let him know. But I was at complete ease because I shared with them I am done. And it took that pain away. It didn't sting anymore. And, of course, I did not end up quitting the sport in 2004, but I thought I had. And as I look back on it, I realized I only said that I had to ease the pain in that moment. And I do wonder From Henry's perspective, does it add pressure, force and urgency, force you to go out there, do your absolute best and win for survival purposes? Not just for victory. It would be the death of a career, survival purposes. Does it add that motivation, or does it take it away, and does it make for a soft landing? Does it allow an acceptance of the other side of the coin? And it's a very hard one to know. It's a very hard one to know why a person would put themselves in that position. He did not have to do it. He elected to do it. He doesn't have to hold on to it and maintain it when he's done. He will hold on to it. He will maintain it. If Henry gets beaten, he says, I'll stop if I do. He will stop. But what is the juxtaposition? Like when I very first saw it, I didn't love it. Well, this isn't good news, but if I don't like what Henry's saying, then I must love the opposite, right? I mean, that would just be basic laws of logic. So the opposite would be Tony Ferguson's approach. Before Tony's very last fight, he said, no, this outcome does not matter. I'm just getting started. I'm a young guy in the sport. I'm going to go do 20 more of these things, right? It was very different, and we didn't like that either. So I'm just reminding you, like us as the viewer, us as the community, it seems as though we can't be happy, right? I mean, like Henry wasn't met with this great praise. Like people weren't coming in and going, oh my gosh, how commendable. Yes, put all your eggs in one basket. This is great. They weren't doing that. But when the opposite was done just 3 weeks ago by Tony Ferg, that was also resisted and rejected. So the question does become, what is the best frame of mind? Like if you're a young athlete and you're standing back and you're looking at the stars, guys that you want to be like, and you're going to copy them, you're going to emulate them. Well, you now have two options. You have two polar opposites. You have Tony Ferg that said, no, I don't have all my pressure. I don't have everything on tomorrow's fight. My entire life and my entire career is not based on that. Which again, Tony would have said to alleviate or to create some kind of environment that he felt was most conducive for his skill set. And Henry has done the exact same thing, except he did the exact opposite of what Ferg did, which is just a fascinating study to stand back and to look at that. Henry is in a very peculiar position, only in that if he wins, I cannot tell you with good faith as a member of this community that he gets a title shot. I couldn't even tell you in good faith that I would be advocating for him to have a title shot. Like, it sounds right. Henry fighting for a belt at any time sounds right. I didn't mind the idea of Henry coming back from his hiatus, going up to 145 and getting an instant title shot up there. Like, Henry for a belt does sound right. But in fairness, I haven't studied that division. I haven't studied who's where and what pieces and look at the guy's ages and, you know, what have you done for me lately type thing. Like, I haven't done that. And I can't assure you that even in victory that I would come out and say Henry should be the one. Now, he might very well be the one. I'm just saying I don't feel as strong in telling you that. I do feel very confident to tell you if Merab wins, Merab fights for title. But how do you do that? Right? How is one guy in the semifinals and the other guy is not? But it does feel that way. I know Merab has not had that opportunity. I know that parity does matter. I know that youth does matter. I know that win streaks and runs and risks that you're taking do matter. Merab is putting it all on the line. I don't know that I can say that for Henry, which isn't his fault. I don't know if I can say that for Henry. I mean, just by example, Henry is 0-1 of recent memory, and Merab is 9-0 of recent memory. So it's not quite apples to apples. It just feels a little bit different. And there's nothing wrong with that. I'm sharing for you, Henry Cejudo has created a world. He has created a bubble of which he is living in. And it's not necessarily a bubble of reality. If he loses, he does not have to retire. He says that he does, but he does not have to retire. He does not have to be done with the sport. His career does not have to be over, but he says it does and believes it. The other side is, if he wins, he's not guaranteed to be next for Sugar Sean versus Cheeto, but he believes he is. And the great athletes will often do this. There will often be a delusion around the great athletes. You have to control the bubble that you live in. And you got to tailor it and cater it to operate within your own psychosis. It's a very fascinating thing. Henry says he'll be done with the loss. Henry says that he'll fight for a title with a victory. I don't know that either is wrong. I do know neither is guaranteed.